Welcome back to another session of The Numbers Are Talking. Are you listening? My name is Chris. In today's session, we're going to look at one of the more important areas, which is your gross profit percentage. We're going to have a look at a real life example of what happens when you don't monitor that figure. And we're going to have a look what drastic effect it can have on your bottom line if you get it right. We will have a look what the increase means to you and what the increase means to your client. Alright, let's get to it. Let's firstly look at how you calculate your gross profit percentage. I see some people mix this up with your markup percentage. If your selling price is 150 and your cost price is 100, you obviously make a profit of 50. Your gross profit percentage is calculated by taking your profit and dividing it by your sales price and multiplying it by 100. So in this case, you take your profit of 50 and you divide it by a sales price of 150 and you get to a gross profit percentage of 33.33%. Your markup, you take your profit, you divide it by your cost price and you multiply it by 100. In this case, you'll get to a markup percentage of 50%. The figures you see in front of you are the figures of one of my clients who came to see me a few years ago. These figures aren't exact, but it's representing the figures he presented me. This business had big problems. They couldn't pay their suppliers on time. Cash flow became tighter and tighter. And quite frankly, this business owner seriously considered just going back to a job. If you look at the sales, you're going to see it increase from a 4 to a 5. 6.4 million over a 3-year period. So year on year, that's an increase of 26%. If you look at his expenses and overheads, that increased by roughly 10% per annum. The issue here was obviously if you go and calculate the gross profit percentage, which is your gross profit of 600 over 4 million in year, the first year, you're going to see he was operating at a 15% profit that he made on the products he sold. The second year that went down to 11% and the third year that went down to 7.5%. If you don't monitor these figures, it's easy for that to happen, especially if your gross profit margin is low. The client will ask you for a 5% discount and you think, oh, it's just a 5% discount. I want a sale. Let me lower my price by 5%. When we looked at the decline in the gross profit percentage, the reason was that he didn't have a price increase in a 3-year period, eating into his profits all the time. He was of the opinion that his clients are going to stop buying from him if he increases his prices. So that was the Friday. I told him to go and up his price so he gets back to 15% on that same Monday, which he did. On the slide, you're going to see what the price increase means to the client and what it means to you if you're working the type of margins that this person worked at. By upping the sales price, so you make a 15% gross profit percentage instead of a 7.5% gross profit percentage, means that's an 8.82% increase to the client. But it means the profit you make on your product by that 8.82% increase to your client means 117.65% increase to you. Point out here, your costs remain exactly the same. It's simply a matter of you increase your price. Price increases, increasing your gross profit percentage, go straight to your bottom line. In this case, there was a 565,000 Rand additional profit by increasing his prices back to a gross profit percentage of 15%. So now you've looked at your gross profit percentage and you see it's been declining over the last few months or years. What does that tell you? First of all, it's an unhealthy situation. Normally if that happens, you need to fix it quickly. Products that you buy can cost you more. Maybe it's time that you look at where you get your products. Maybe you must ask for discounts from your suppliers or import it. Maybe it's time for you to increase your sales prices. We've looked previously what happens when you don't increase your prices. When your cost increases, your sales prices must increase as well. There might be inefficiencies in your factory and it's costing you more to manufacture. Maybe it's time to find those inefficiencies and eliminate them. There might be simply more competition in the market, forcing you to lower your sales price. If that's the case, you need to start looking at new products that can give you a higher margin. Going with it, your sales mix might have changed. You may be selling more products having a low margin and not selling the ones with a high margin. So sales might look wonderful, but it's not going through to your profits. The last example, you might be sitting with stock losses or theft. So you see, your gross profit percentage can tell you a lot. It's one figure, but there might be a lot of reasons for that. It's important to monitor it and to rectify it as quickly as possible if it's going in the wrong direction.